I'm going to make a video on how to go about setting up your trade ladder. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to maximize this part of the chart. I have my trading ladder set up as a separate chart all on its own. Let me just kind of point out a few things here so that you understand what's going on. You've got a bunch of tabs here on the right. The one that I currently have clicked is the Active Trader tab, because if I click it again, I got nothing. Let me show you what some of the other tabs do just out of curiosity. You've got a Trade tab here, which allows you to put your trade setups at the top if you like. Some people like it that way. I don't. I like it on the side. You have a Time and Sales tab. Not really anything to see here because the market isn't open, but basically what we'll scroll down is all the orders and contract sizes that are executing in real time. You've got the Auto Trader tab, which is what I'm going to talk about in a second. You've got big buttons. This is for folks like me who are old and can't see the small buttons. You can make, you can just set up big buttons so it's easy to do. You've got the normal chart tab, which is where your chart stuff would come up. But since I have this one set up just to be my order ladder, I don't have that one clicked. The dashboard, some people like to trade this way, where they see the bid and the ask in real big boxes, and then they have a quantity button at the bottom, and all you gotta do is mash one of the buttons and it places your order, which is, I guess, okay. You've got level 2, a level 2 feed, which gives you the bid and the ask and the depth of market as well as far as volume is concerned. And last but not least, you got a tab here for news. And you can, it will give you news specifically on whatever you have in the box for the trading instrument. In this case, this is the euro, so all euro-related news is going to show up in this tab. Anyway, let's go back to Active Trader. Let me point out a few things. Okay, the way you set this stuff up is basically what you want to do here is you want to set up an environment that's conducive to you being able to trade the way you want to do it. So what I do normally is I have a buy market button, a sell market button, a cancel all button, a reverse, and a flatten button. Now how do you set that up? Well, you go over here to the little nifty gear and you get this little pop-up, okay? And what it does is it brings up over here something called current set. And what you can do is you can modify, you can move things from the left to the right or the right to the left. But what I prefer is a setup like this where you have a buy, a sell market button, a cancel all button, a reverse, and a flatten button. The second line is my quantity with buttons, my order template selection, auto send on off, and my auto order template editor, which I'll show you what that is in a second. But basically, these are the biggies that you want to set up like that, okay? So once you move them from the left to the right or from the right to the left to get it set up how you want, all you do is hit OK. You should have this set up. What that lower part of that little box was referring to was this here, this area down here. Normally, you can either make that go away by hitting this little arrow here or leave it exposed, which is what I like to do. You've got this quantity area here, which is how many contracts do I want to trade. And you have some buttons to quickly change it from 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 to 20. Those are the defaults. I use those all the time. I really haven't changed those much. Then this area here is where you set up your templates, okay? You have what's called a single, which is basically no template. You have one cancels other, which is what you use if you enter into a trade and either forgot to do your bracket or for some reason your bracket got screwed up. You can use this setting to create a new bracket around your currently existing price. Then you have all these little options here. Trade with brackets. So this is one bracket. You can trade with 2 brackets or 3 brackets nested. I never get that complicated. I'm always trading with just one bracket, a stop loss, and a profit target. Some people get really into all this other junk. I do not, okay? What I've created is a template for a 10 by 10 fixed bracket. Okay, and then this is also your delete button where you can delete whatever you created. But here's my template for 10 by 10. And the first thing you want to notice is that the 10 by 10 is selected here. The auto send button is clicked. When you're a new trader, you may not want to click that button. What that is sort of a last ditch effort to make sure you don't screw up check mark. What it will do if it's not checked is when you place an order, it will bring up a pop-up that says, are you really sure you want to do this? And if you do, you say yes, and it places the order. Otherwise, it doesn't execute it. If you have that checked, it will automatically execute the order without asking you, okay? So just be aware of what that means. Then here is how you basically set up your bracket orders or your templates. As you can see, I loaded a 10 by 10 fix, so my profit target is 10 ticks, and my stop loss is negative 10 ticks. Okay, now if I change one of these, just even 1 tick, all right, you'll notice this little icon pops up, and that allows me to then change the name or provide a name for a new template. Okay, that's where you would put that. But I'm not going to do a new template right now. I'm just going to stick with my old 10 by 10. So I'm going to select it again. See, it fixes my order. And notice now if I hover over any of the locations next to the price, either my buy side or my sell side, you can see where the brackets would go. Okay, that's what this is all about. That's why we're doing that. Okay, so that leads me down to the bottom part of this chart. And let me show you a couple things here that you want. This little button here, what it does is it centers the view. What it will do is it will always put the center of the ladder right where the current price is at, which is kind of handy when prices like shooting around all over the place, so it doesn't scroll off your screen. This plus and this minus icons here, they allow you to zoom out and zoom in on price. So if you had like a really super giant, large, wide bracket, you can zoom down on it so you can see both ends of the brackets if they're extending off your screen. I never use that, but I guess some people do. And then you've got your standard scrolling up and down keys right here. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to set up your ladder so it looks like this too. Okay, so you want to have volume on the left, then your bid, then your price, then your ask size, then your orders, and then your P&L. How do you do that? There is a tiny little gear right here that says customize, and you click customize. Same deal. You have this little pull down menu, and the way I want it, the way I like to set it up, and you can do it whatever way you want. But I like volume to the left, then bid, then the current price, then ask, then my orders, and then the P&L open. That way I always know what's cooking and where it's at. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to show you on this. Up here at the very top, you have how many buys and sells you did during the day. It tells whether you're in a position or not. If you are, it'll tell you how many contracts you're in. It will also tell you the average price that you got in at, which is a real useful thing. It'll tell you what the P&L is open on the current trade, and it'll tell you what your P&L for the day is. I always watch this line very closely to see how I'm doing. Anyway, that's about it for this little video. Over and out from Bill. I hope that helps.